Hello everyone. I hope my voice is loud and clear. So we are at a stage where Nifty is, except for the first 1 hour just after the RBI policy, absolutely nothing has happened, and it was a very dull day so far after about 10:30 or so. And for the last 4 hours, almost nothing has happened. If I see the Nifty chart on a candlestick, it is for the last 2 3 hours it is toggling near the VWAP, and yesterday's spike high was not even touched. So that means that Nifty was definitely weak even in the morning. It opened lower with a gap down, but tried to go up just around the RBI policy time. But after that, it started coming down, and only consolation is it has not yet broken yesterday's low so far. Why I'm saying so far? Because still, I mean, 1.5 hours is left. Anything can happen. However, Bank Nifty is that much weaker because Bank Nifty has definitely broken yesterday's low, and it is looking weaker than Nifty. One thing which I have always been talking about on my tweets, and in fact, there is a video also about candle levels. Look at where Bank Nifty high was today. This is the futures, and this was exactly around the just after the RBI time. There was a big spike. It hit a high of 45,142, and look at this H3, which was 45,136, and yesterday's H3, which is 45,140. So unless it had gone and sustained above 45,150, it was always in for a shock, and that is exactly what happened. After that, it crashed all the way down to, I mean, immediately in the next half an hour, it went down by about almost 400, 450 points, and after that, it is again back to VWAP, again below VWAP, and but however, it is not looking strong at all. So both Nifty and Bank Nifty are still weakish but sideways. Why sideways? Because they are, though Bank Nifty has broken yesterday's low, Nifty has not yet broken yesterday's low. So that is the only consolation so far. Now, if I see the open interest for individual strike prices, even before the RBI policy, this 19,600 call OI, the green line, had shot up quite considerably right from morning after the gap up, after the gap down in Nifty. And that it was very clear that 19,600 is going to be a big resistance today, and that continues so because there is no put writing on 19,600. It is still very weak in terms of put writing, so no question of crossing 19,600 even after the spike. It did not even go to yesterday's high like I showed. Similarly, in 19,550, which is the next lower strike price, if you see the call and put OI, they are continuously going higher and lower together. So yes, the open interest of the call did rise very fast, but so did the open interest of the puts. In fact, it continued to rise even after the big sort of fall after the RBI policy, and that topped out at 11:30, and that was the time when Nifty. If we see the time here on Nifty chart, the low was made near 10:40, and the 19,550. In fact, the low was near 19,500 on the spot. Let me see the low. Yeah, it was 535 in futures, so uh, lower in spot. And that was the time then 550 put OI stopped rising and it fell. But it was very clear that between 500 and 550 there is going to be a good support. So between 500, 19,500, 19,600, Nifty is going to remain sideways. In fact, after some time it was even clear that not even 600, it was 19,500 and 19,550. That was a very clear sideways path which was set by Nifty option players immediately after the RBI policy. It's like something like 10:30 or 11. After that, for the last 3 hours, it is continuously between 500 and 550, and that has not changed. If I come to Bank Nifty, like I said, Bank Nifty had a big resistance in the morning. It did go down very fast after the policy and broke yesterday's low. After that, it went back to VWAP, could not cross it decisively again. In fact, apart from the VWAP, something which I have been talking about of the candle levels, look at this L3 that gave a acted as a resistance, not once, twice, even here. And after that, it has not been able to cross the VWAP at all. So even now, this just 10 minutes back, I think just before we started, at about 11:40, 1:45, this was a big sudden plunge, and it made a day's low 44,625. So even now, there is no hint of bullishness at all in even in Bank Nifty. So like I said, it is sideways and bearish to sideways. It is definitely not strong. So one thing was very clear after 11 o'clock. There is no question of any longs today. It has to be short on rise. That was very clear. If I look at the Bank Nifty OI, 45,600, look at the call OI, which is still spiking up. It is very clear that that is not, it is difficult for Bank Nifty to cross 44,600 if this keeps rising, because now even the put OI has started falling, which means the put writers who were trying to give support earlier till, let's say, about 12 o'clock or so, they have also started given up and they are now covering. So which strengthens the belief that even 44,600 might not be crossed today. And if I look at the 44,500 OI, this is something interesting. So if this, in fact, the call OI has started rising now and very steeply. The put OI has started falling again in the last 15-20 minutes or so. If this continues, when I say this continues, I mean the green line keeps rising and the red line keeps falling. That is going to be very bearish for Bank Nifty, because this is the Bank Nifty 44,400, and right now Bank Nifty's spot is below 44,500. So let us have a look at the 44,500 put chart. If that is giving any indication. No, even here it did spike up just now. It hit a resistance at Camrilla over here, and after that, even that is coming down. In fact, just as I was speaking, Bank Nifty jumped almost 30 points, and this put is again facing resistance, and it is coming down fast. Let us have a look at the 44,500 call, if that is showing strength. No, nothing. This is not a bullish chart at all. So all in all, it's a do nothing day for those who traded long options. But maybe for straddles and strangles, it might be. Let me check. I have already plotted Bank Nifty 44,500 straddle. This is exactly what I was guessing. 44,500 straddle is going down very fast. Right now it is near 130, out of which the call is 80 and the put is 46. Which means if it keeps going down, the call will keep going down, which means Bank Nifty might go down further. Or since it is expiry, the time value also acts. And one thing is very clear: forget any bullishness, look for bearishness, but even that does not exist. So for any people who short straddles, this 225 to 40 is a good stop loss to have on the 44,500 straddle. Of course, now it is already 130, so that stop loss is a bit far away. But if it spikes up and cannot cross 230, that can be a good shot. But right now, in fact, there is no trade for any long or short, long option. Short options, of course, there will be. Now, if I look at the 19,550 straddle on Nifty, even that is weak. This has call at 19 and put at 25. So, as long as this is below 75.80, it continues to remain weak. I'm talking about the straddle, which means Nifty might remain sideways between 500 and 550. In fact, I remember last Thursday when I did this YouTube live first time, we were talking about 19,300 and 350. Of course, after that, after I finished, it did spike up. But before that, we had identified the support which was just below 19,300 based on the open interest. And similarly, today we are seeing a resistance above 19,550 on Nifty and above 44,600 on Bank Nifty. I'm talking about spot. So this Bank Nifty has shot up again, and because of which this has gone up. This 44,500 call, but there was no pattern to go long. If I look at the straddle again, it is going down further. Now looking at the individual charts, yeah, there was a spike. It is completely sideways. There is no movement at all in Bank Nifty or this is Nifty, of course, or even in Bank Nifty, it is getting bought on dip but getting sold on rise. So this is one of those days where you can just shut shop, maybe be on Twitter or go for a movie, go for a walk. But there is nothing, you can't find a trade by forcing yourself to identify a trade. The chart is not giving any trade at all. So no point in forcing a trade. Let me see some questions. Okay, Hindi. I'll try. But see, the problem in India is I'm not criticizing anything, but since we are such a diverse country, when we say something in English, people will ask for Hindi. When we say something in Hindi, people will ask for English. In fact, we had queries for I want to speak in Tamil, I want to speak in Telugu. So it is going to be difficult for a country like India to cater to all languages. And I thought English is something I don't speak. I mean, it is the market language. So there is, I mean, resistance is resistance even if I speak in Hindi, isn't it? Or a support. If I look at the TOI at this stage, let me see the TOI of 550. I don't think there will be any strength. I'm just guessing, not much. Sideways. Even the TOI is gone sideways. After the big dip in the morning, after the RBI policy, it did try to rise, but that was just a retracement, and now there is no strength yet. And if I look at Bank Nifty, again same. Actually, if anyone was observing the OI, how the OI was changing for the calls and puts. It was quite clear after 11 o'clock itself that hardly much, I mean, nothing much is going to happen today in the market. So it was a short strangle, short straddle day. And if I just show you the straddles earlier from the morning, look at this. This is the Bank Nifty straddle after the spike in the morning at about 10:30. After that, it gave a big anchor column from here, which was near 270 or so. Now it is 130. That could have been a good intraday trade if someone is following these charts. Or even for Nifty, it is something similar. It is going down further. After the spike here at about 100 or so, 100, 105, now it is just 40. So it is quite possible to identify well in advance whether we are going to have a violent expiry or not, or whether we are going to be sideways at least for some 2 3 hours. For example, last expiry it was going down. The open interest suggested that we might be a very near closer to a bottom, and yes, after that it I think went up by 100 points. So the point is how to identify what is likely to happen. So that is something which is very much possible looking at these charts, straddle charts, open interest charts, and then you can take a position accordingly or just do nothing. So that is the easiest way to, I mean, it's very easier said than done. Don't do anything. It is hard, I know, but that is what the market says. Yeah, like I said, you can't force your view on the market. You have to, the trade has to scream at you. It can't be like I just want to take a trade to which call or put I should buy. How about buying 44,300 call of 17th expiry? That is interesting. Let me 44,300. I'm not giving any recommendation. I'm just looking at the chart because this was the question someone asked. So let me look at the chart. Look at the first thing I see are huge bearish anchor columns. One, two, three. That is on 3%. Even on 1%, there is no strength yet. Uh, I don't know. I don't think this is a buy. And this is first of all 520. So, okay, I mean, trading in the money options is also a trading system, but I don't think that is going to be a. Maybe it can go up to 700 or 750 or so, but as of now, the chart does not show any pattern. Let me look at the 44,500 put of next expiry. Many times the next expiry also gives the options of the next expiry give a good idea. Even this is sideways. So I suspect even tomorrow or maybe at least opening tomorrow it might be sideways. This did spike up yesterday again today after the RBI policy, but though Bank Nifty went below yesterday's low, this put did not go below above yesterday's high. So it lacked momentum. Yes, there is Greeks which come into play, theta and all that, but this was only the second day. I mean yesterday and today. If there was momentum in Bank Nifty, this put would have definitely crossed yesterday's high, which has not, and now it is coming down. So, which brings me to a position where maybe a straddle of next week expiry. Let me plot a straddle of 17th August. Let's take add the money, so 19,550. This is a perfect shot. Right now it is 195, where the call is 112.13, the put is 83.84. Will 44,400 breach downside? I am not into prediction at all. Will it breach? I don't know. Right now, like I said, 44,500 or so is a support. Whether it will breach, we'll have to wait and see. First of all, I will never use the word will. If it sustains below 44,500, yes, then it is definitely weak, and then very big chances of breaking 44,400. But I can never say it will breach. That is not my style, and I can't predict in the market. Someone is talking about bearish, someone is talking ATH. Yes, that is how it is. I don't know. Right now we are in a correction after the all-time high at 19,991. Yesterday itself, I tweeted a lot of people have become scared with even holding delivery positions which are well in profit. And first of all, the easiest thing to do is book partial profits if you are scared. There is no point in booking everything. Who knows if tomorrow there is no crash and Nifty goes to 20,500. Anything can happen. You have to be ready for it. And then you might end up buying at the top. So it's always better not to be scared. Follow the charts. So this straddle of 19,550 for next expiry. Let me add my favorite triple moving average. It is strongly trending down. So this high of yesterday, which was about 240 or so. So let's say 250 will be a stop loss. 195 is the straddle price right now. So that can be a good trade for next expiry. Because today's expiry is not giving anything. So like I said, if someone is eagerly looking for a trade, this can be a safer trade. Yeah, you can use DSmart also. See, I prefer triple moving average. You can also use must. You can use D must. You can. It's a completely individual thing what you want and what you can use. Finally, it's a question of risk reward, isn't it? Monthly 19,550 also can be a good idea. Someone has already said he has shorted. Yeah, in fact, even monthly is looking very good, which also means that Nifty might be drifting down. Sudden spike of 100 points, maybe drifting down by 50, 100 points. Right now, broadly speaking, Nifty, I mean, I'm not talking about today's expiry. In general, Nifty is trapped between 19,450 and 19,650 on the spot. So unless it closes below 19,450 and or closes above 19,650, this straddle will definitely be worth trading. Right now, it is 352, and if you want a stop loss, it will be about 405 or so. 50-point stop loss in a straddle is not much, but who knows? It might go to 200. Anything can happen. So this is worth a shot. This trade or even next week's trade. Why I prefer Nifty, monthly straddles is who knows? It might go for the next 10 days, whereas weekly you have to close it on next Thursday. Any strategy for option buying? If you saw my uh, tweet yesterday, let me just close these charts. Yesterday, I think it was yes, EOI had turned. I'll show both. 19,550 call it was. I'm talking about yesterday, not today. So this and the TOI. So yesterday, in fact, this is what I tweeted. Around 110 TOI went into buy. So after that, you have to look for a bullish trade. That is the basic idea the TOI gives. It gives a hint of what is likely to happen. And here it was given a hint. This green line is a TOI. The other two, red and orange, are just the moving averages. For more information on TOI, you can visit insight.definedge.com, where there are lots of videos. Under options section, you have, I think we have 3 or 4 videos on TOI. So that tells you how to read and how to plot TOI. But once you have the TOI hint, so yesterday around the same time it was here. This was a turtle breakout above 35.40, and this was the first resistance 40. After that, for 55. Again, I prefer to use candle levels because they give good levels intraday where you can book partially. That is the standard question everyone asks: where should I exit? Where should I exit? So these levels which are there. Uh, Again, I have a video on Camarilla as well, which is there on Insight as well as YouTube. So that explains the concept of Camarilla. So this was a very good trade yesterday. So this is the options buying setup which I always talk about. Look at the TOI. If it is bearish, look for a trigger on the put. If it is bullish, look for a trigger on the call. As simple as that. And always add the money. There is no point in trading out of the money, especially in weekly. Always trade or add the money. In fact, on the expiry date, trade in the money. Yeah, you can use Camelon point and figure. That is exactly what I've shown here. In fact, you can use Camelon straddle charts as well. Let me show you. This is the straddle chart of today. Here it is. See where it took support yesterday. This is something which I always get amazed by. And today continuously down, it broke support and it is gone down further now. Triple moving average is a standard moving average. I mean, default moving average. If I just show it over here, it has 10, 15, and 20. But on a point and figure chart, moving average, the concept of moving average is completely different to the concept of moving average on a candlestick chart. On a candlestick chart, it depends on the time, whether it is a 5-minute candle, 15-minute candle, hourly candle. But on the point and figure chart, it is completely based on the number of columns. So when I say 10 average, that means it is the closing of the last 10 columns. 15 average is means the closing of the last 15 columns. And again, in the column, what is important is the box size. So for a specific box size, the 10, 15, 20 average, this constitutes the triple moving average. Yeah, in fact, Camarilla, for me, like I said, I have been looking at Camarilla for almost 15 years, and so many times, I still, even now, it amazes me. I still feel that it acts like almost like magic. Look at this, even after the RBI spike, 45, 140 resistance, and there it stopped. Of course, no one can say that it will not go there, go beyond that. But if it had to break out, it had to go and cross 45, 150, and then above that. That didn't happen. In fact, even yesterday, if you saw Nifty, here this was the VWAP around the same time here around 1 o'clock. TOI gave a buy, and then it crossed the L4, which was the support earlier, and then it became a resistance. So once that was crossed, first level, second level, third level, it almost went to H5, which was 19708, and the high was 19702 or so. In fact, I know so many people I mean, intraday traders who use only Camarilla. The easiest way to, I'll tell you, is plot the futures chart, maybe on a candlestick with intraday VWAP and the Camarilla levels. Plot the at the money call and at the money put of that instrument. But that's all. You don't need any other chart. These three charts are good enough to get a trade. Again, like I said, you won't get a trade every day. There might be just one or two trades in a week, but those trades will be such that, for example, the one which I showed for yesterday, I think this, no, this one, 550 call yesterday. Here it gave a buy above 35, it went all the way to 100 in just couple of hours. So, of course, I keep cautioning it is not going to happen every day. But even on the days when it gets stopped out, it will not be a stop loss of more than 20, 30 points. So let's say even if you get stopped out 3 days in a week, but there will be maybe 2 days in the week where you will definitely get a good trade. So that helps. So again, it's like any other system trading. If you like the system, keep trading it. Don't get frustrated because who knows, there might be one full week where the Nifty is sideways. It happens, isn't it? But like I said, there are at least a couple of one day definitely, sometimes even the second day. And as VIX rises, that is again another thing which people need to understand. Right now, VIX is at a almost all-time low. When the VIX rises, the intraday range or the intraday volatility also rises, and there you can get more trades. Even on the Camry levels. In fact, not only here, even when VIX was 25, 30, 40, 75, 80 during COVID times, there also Camry works. It works every time. I prefer point and figure on the intraday as well as positional charts. I keep referring to OHLC candlestick chart because that is what I have learned. I mean, 15 years back there was no point and figure charts, at least as far as India was concerned. TradePoint came only later after 2013. So that also I have adapted, and it's a question of how much you want to learn. So I wanted to learn, and I found them easier. So point and figure and candlestick, I follow both. Like I showed the Nifty and Bank Nifty charts with VWAP. There I get a better idea on candlestick charts because their breach above or below VWAP is easier to identify, especially near a candle level. But when it comes to options, call or put, I prefer to use point and figure charts. Today also BN took support at Camilla. Yes, look at this. Again, there was, I mean, who knows this intraday low which was made just before we started this YouTube. The low was how much? 44,625, and this level was 44,640, and not a single candle below that. I mean, there was no full candle below that level. It spiked down and immediately started rising. And see where it went from there to here. Look at the exact high, 44,817, exactly L4. Is there any training session on point and figure charts at Definedge now? That is an interesting question. If you go to insight.definedge.com, there are lots of videos explaining right from basics of point and figure charts, even Renko charts. So all of them are free. You just need a free registration. And if you still want to learn more, we have lots of sessions online as well as offline. There is a market Pathshala which lasts for 10 days online throughout the day. There is a 2-day event, online event. Sometimes, I mean, it's on a weekend. Uh, so these are all lined up. You can keep visiting the events page. But apart from that, there are so many free videos. I know so many people who have not attended any paid courses, have only watched the free videos, learned, and started trading on their own. Okay, I think it's if I look at Nifty, it is again still between 500 and 550, and Bank Nifty also is below 44,600. So just let me take a look at each chart once again. As long as this futures is below 44,850, it is going to be sideways. This 44,550 call is also weak. This monthly 19,550 strategy is continues to go down, so that is also weak. Nifty also again trapped between, it's basically an inside day and trapped between L4 and L3. The 19,550 straddle of today, I had mentioned if it does not go below above 75, now it is 35. So there also, who knows, it might go very close to zero as of now. I keep saying as of now because anything can happen in the market. Within 5 minutes, things can change. So you have to, that's why I said you cannot use the word will. Again, TOI is sideways, slightly bearish. So again, no clear direction from TOI. This is the next week's straddle 19550. It has gone down further. I think it was near 200 when I plotted it. Now it is 192. I'm just revisiting all the charts which I showed earlier. Bank Nifty 44,500 straddle again is going down. I think it was, we were talked about it over here. Here I think here 150, 130. Now it is 112. Bank Nifty put, in fact, it was here we talked about when Bank Nifty made a new day low, but it hit the resistance, and after that now it is going towards zero. Bank Nifty also started rising, but 44,500 call, this put is still strong, so which means going below 44,500 is going to be difficult. Now, if I look at the 44, sorry, Nifty is 19,600, that continues to remain strong in terms of call OI. So crossing 19,600 might be difficult. And 19,550 is again going nowhere. It is entwined between each other. So my guess is the expiry might be between 550 or 570, 530 to 540, sorry, 530 to 570, 580 kind of range. Again, Bank Nifty 44,600 is bearish, so unlikely that it can settle above 44,600. For this, the put writing has to happen. Without that, Bank Nifty cannot sustain above 44,600. And if I look at the last one, 44,500 is a strong support even now. So this is how today's expiry was, quite dull. So that is how the market is. It's not possible to find a good trade every day. Of course, there was a trade of shorting a straddle or a strangle today, but not everyone does that. That is part of life. Uh, Yesterday there was a very good opportunity in buying call. In fact, buying a put in the morning and buying a call in the second half. But today, unfortunately, nothing for call. I mean, long option traders. It's only for straddle players. So I hope you like this session, and Do subscribe to our video, like it, and share this video. I'll come back next Thursday. Thank you and bye bye.